Hey everyone, welcome to another mscrm-addons.com webinar. My name is Clint Higley, and today the topic that we're going to be covering is connecting your phone system to Microsoft Dynamics CRM. I'm going to talk a little bit about the values and benefits to doing that. As always, this webinar is being recorded, and we'll release the slides that I'm showing here today and the video shortly after the end of this webinar. As always, I have some team members in the chat down below on the left-hand side. If you have any questions or anything like that during the webinar, please feel free to go ahead and ask that, and they'll get those answered for you. Well, I'm going to move on here and talk a little bit about why you want to connect your phone system to CRM. There's a couple of things of that. Number one is, you want to be able to track your phone calls, whether those be the inbound or outbound phone calls. What is crucial in the CRM system is getting that data in there and recording basically your phone call activities. If basically one of the things that we always say around here is if it doesn't exist in CRM, then it didn't happen. The phone calls are usually one of those things that people tend to forget to kind of create those activities. So we want to be able to create those CRM records as well. If we get a phone call from someone we don't know, we want to be able to create those contacts and accounts and leads, and also be able to open up some opportunities or cases as well. The other benefit to it would be call recognition. Being able to identify the caller is kind of crucial. Not having to kind of hunt through your CRM system by providing screen pop-ups so you can actually see the person who's calling, have all their information in front of you quickly, makes it easier on the person who's calling in because you have all that information right there. You don't have to wait for them to search for that, and you've already got them identified so you know exactly who you're talking with. You really also too want to simplify dialing, whether that be you want to click the dial straight from the CRM record. Being able to do that just speeds up the process completely. And also basically, a lot of people out there, when they go to make a bunch of phone calls, they create these to-do lists, with an advance find, and then they have kind of a grid of all these phone calls that they want to make. So what we want to do is maybe have like a power dialing list to quickly and easily dial out those dial through and get through all those phone calls. Lastly, the other thing would be call statistics. As a manager, it's going to help you with, you want to look at the reporting of call times, the duration, the number of calls, so you have all that information in your CRM system so you can see all that info. And also for user gamification, it's becoming really a thing in CRM, kind of like, who's basically making the most phone calls. That helps to, kind of encourage users to actually use the system. So what do we at NSERM Addons, what do we bring, and what does our telephone integration do for you when using Microsoft Dynamics CRM? So basically how this works is we have two portions of it. The first portion being the telephone integration server. That is basically contains the CRM solutions, and it's also the global configuration of that. So basically what that is going to handle is to click to dial, like I talked about before, calling from records, and licensing as well. It's also going to handle all your call statistics and call analysis. So we have those points covered. The TI client, which resides on the user's PC, is basically the bridge between the phone system and CRM. What your users are going to use that for is they're going to be able to perform calls using the TI balloon, react on incoming calls. Also, they're going to be able to perform CRM-specific operations just with a couple of clicks. So they're going to be able to create those records and also use the balloon to do an integrated CRM search. The other thing is we talked about before with the to-do list or power dialing lists. It also is going to host those, so you're going to have those available to you with the client. Some of the phone systems that we do support, all of our voice over IP offerings would be Skype for Business, Link, Skype, Interactive Intelligence, and RingCentral. As far as this is basically some of the phone systems that we support. Basically, when you have a phone system, as long as the phone system provider has a TAPI driver, you're able to use you're able to connect your phone system to the telephone integration piece. So it's really simple and easy to set up. We also have an SDK for phone systems that are out there that don't have any kind of integration to where you can kind of, if they have an API, you can kind of build your own kind of hooks into the phone system with this SDK and CRM. I want to talk a little bit about power dialing just to kind of give you just a general idea of what it does. Basically what it's going to do is it's just basically empower, like for example, like your inside sales group or a telemarketing team or just anybody that you need to have make a bunch of phone calls by creating calling lists basically. And then what it does also is it provides basically a workspace to work on those lists. So it's simple for your users. Some examples of how to create calling lists. We can do that through CRM campaign activities, or we have a power dialing list, which is an entity that we created so that you can create these really simply and on the fly. Some examples of that would be like, for example, an end-of-year offering, or you want to give a call to all key customers. The other thing is, like for example, web registrations. You can have these call lists be actually auto-filled through a workflow. So it's really simple and handles a lot of things very efficiently. Some things that can be defined on these calling lists. You can actually assign these to different users or teams. So it's going to allow you to actually create these lists and say, like for example, assign it to 3 different users to work on that list, or to a team, like so for example your call center team. You're able to provide a script or just some information, some questions maybe that you want to get answered, and your users are going to be able to see that in the power dialing workspace. You can also set time limits on this, set whether or not this is the thing's going to auto dial, etc. The power dialing workspace, basically what we wanted to try to achieve with this is give the user just basically one workspace where they can actually access information in CRM and have an easy interface to where they can just basically focus on the call and focus on the list on what they're doing. There's just 3 different steps involved in the power dialing process. The first being the pre-processing time, where the user just basically prepares for the call, takes a look at the information inside of CRM, also takes a look, say for example, at the description of the script, and then moves on into the calling phase. In the calling phase, it's basically you're just dialing out and talking to the customer, getting that information, getting that into CRM quickly and efficiently. And then once you're done with that, you move on to post-processing, which is going to save that information into CRM. After you're done with those 3 steps, it just immediately moves right into the next call. You don't have to move out of the power dialing workspace, and you just keep on going, so you can do several calls quickly and efficiently. Call statistics, call analysis, and gamification. Basically, all the information that you can kind of gather from the telephone integration client is stored on the server. So you can take that information and use we do have a couple of just kind of built-in that they come with the telephone integration piece. Just some basic information, so you can get, like for example, you have all kinds of information in the form of a few charts right there at your fingertips. And again, like I said before, you can build your own advanced find to get your own analysis of that, and break things down and see the information that you want to see. For the demonstration, basically the first part of the demonstration, what I'm going to show is the main user interface and call handling. I'm going to just kind of go over the user interface and kind of what you see. Also going to do an incoming call, just kind of show you how the telephone integration piece reacts to incoming calls, and also how it does the screen pop-ups. And then I'm also going to do an outbound call. I'm going to show the different ways that we can dial either from the balloon, from CRM, and from CRM, and also show you how to use that search feature inside the balloon. The second part of the demo, just kind of want to take a brief moment and kind of go over the cost statistics dashboard with the charts and everything like that we have built in, and just kind of show the different statistics and analysis that the TI dashboard can provide. And lastly, want to show you the power dialing. Basically, I want to show you how to create a dialing list, how easy it is to do that from an advanced find, and basically how the people use the power dialer to make several phone calls right in a row. So I'm going to go ahead and flip over to my demo system. And so I've got my demo system up here, and I have basically what I want to do here is the first thing that I want to show here is the telephone integration balloon, and kind of go over a few pieces on that. So the telephone integration balloon lives right down here in your system tray. You just click on it, and that opens the balloon up for you. As you can see here, I've got a call history here of my outgoing and incoming calls. I can also drill down and look at my answered calls, calls that I've dialed out, and also missed calls as well. Another nice feature is this is I can just click on this and get some information about the calls that I've made or received. Again, I can kind of flip through these, and you can see here this is a call that is not, did not resolve back to CRM, so it's a brand new number. I'm able to click that and actually create new activities for it. Create, say for example, a new contact out of this phone call. So I've got that information right in CRM. So really easy to do. So just kind of want to simulate an incoming call here. I've got a number. Just put a number right in here real quick, and this is just our simulator here. So basically now what I'm going to do is simulate that call here. So I'll just go ahead and call in. As you can see, the way that it works is the telephone integration balloon reacts to that incoming call, performs a lookup of the number in CRM, and then returns all that information to me right here in the balloon. So as you can see here, this number actually resolves back to 3 different records. We've got 1 account and 2 contacts. Now the nice part about this is that I'm able to go ahead and answer that call. And I still have the same information up. So basically what that allows me to do is identify the person that I'm speaking with. Then I can go ahead and click their information here. Once I've done and I've clicked that information, I get 2 pop-ups. One is the contacts page here where I have everything, everything that I need, and also a new phone call activity, already set up and ready to go. Let's see here. So basically all I need to do is fill out some information here. And then I can enter in any information here in this description field about what we talked about. All right, so great. So once I'm finished with that, I can go ahead and hang the call up, and then mark this phone call as complete, and it gets saved back to his contact. Now with these pop-ups and everything like that, you can customize that in the way that you want them to pop up. You can have it pop up with just the phone call activity. You can have it pop up with just with the contact, and you can dictate basically how those windows are going to pop up, whether they're going to be side by side. So you can customize this greatly, pretty much any way that you want to. Just kind of want to open up here my telephone integration client here again. And what this also allows you to do here is it allows you to actually search inside of CRM. So you can see I don't have CRM open right now. And let's see, I want to make a call to Michael. So Michael Dorr, so I can put his name right in there and go ahead and do a search. And it brings me back anything related to that search string. So I have here, I've got Michael Dorr. I'm able to actually double click on one of these numbers and it's automatically going to start dialing out. Or I can right click it and open up his contact information in CRM, so I have that already open. One of the other nice things about this, that's basically one way to make an outgoing phone call. Another way that we have here is using this the call number button. So it's a little fly out button that we have here where I can pick and choose which phone number I'm going to dial. And also with a little bit of configuration, I can actually just come right here to the business phone number here or whatever phone number that I want to pick and just click on it and it automatically starts dialing out. So now it's dialing Michael here. As soon as that call is activated again, I have the pop-up here where I can fill in my information again and store that information right back in the CRM. So a really handy way to kind of prompt users and everything like that to enter that information and get that into CRM. So I'll go ahead and close all this out. And then move on to the next piece, which I wanted to show you, which is some of our telephone integration kind of overview here. I've got here just a couple of different charts, here that come with the telephone integration add-on. I can actually say, for example, let's see, I'm interested in the calls per month here. I'm able to open this up and get a really good overview of how many calls, how many incoming calls I'm receiving, how many outgoing calls I'm receiving, and just kind of see exactly kind of what's going on in the system, how many people are, how many outbound calls versus inbound calls I've got. Also, another thing, talking about gamification of this, able to set this up. Basically, I can have my users take a look at this so they can see actually who's making the most phone calls. So this is a really handy little feature here, so you can actually see that I am really smoking everybody, pretty much making phone calls here. There's a few other things that we have here, like being able to see where the phone calls are actually coming from, which calls have been answered and which calls have been not connected, and durations in seconds. Again, these are all just kind of charts that we've created for you. You can create your own just by just kind of following our examples here and get the information that you want to see. The next portion of it that I want to go over is power dialing lists. They are really simple and easy to create. Basically what I'm going to start off here with is an advanced find. And what we want to do here is we want to do an end of the year promo and dinner event. And I want to basically contact all of my contacts here that are in, say, for example, the state of Georgia. Okay. And from there, let me go ahead and grab my results. So I have a list of all my people here in the state of Georgia here, and I definitely want to contact them and invite them to this event. So I'll just go ahead and select everyone in this list here that I've got, and then come right over here and go ahead and say and create my dialing list. So this is the first portion of it where I'm going to create my telephone integration power dialing list. So I definitely want to give give it a subject here. And this is going to be the actual subject of the phone call. So I got that information right there. And I want to go ahead and kind of pre-fill in the phone call description here for my users. So as a CRM admin or as a manager, this is something that's very helpful to do. I'm putting in here to see the description panel for questions. Once we get into the telephone integration workspace, this is actually going to make a lot more sense. Lastly, I'm able to define which order I want to actually prioritize the phone numbers from. So for me, I want to call these people's business phone first. And then once I have this done and set up, I'm going to go ahead and click this Create New button. Do want to briefly comment here that we also have this Add to Existing button as well. You can actually create a power dialing list and add these to an existing power dialing list. So you can keep, you can have one power dialing list that someone's working off of and keep adding to it. Also for advanced users, they're able to set up, say for example, like a workflow. When a new lead's created, you want to add that lead to a power dialing list to maybe follow up with for the users on that particular team. So, but for me, I'm going to go ahead and create a new one here. Then this brings me into to my my power dialer here. So I want to go ahead and give this power dialing list a name. So I'll just call it here the end of the year promo and dinner event. From here, I'm going to fill in the description here. This is basically going to be where the users are going to see that small little script there on the side panel. So I'll just go ahead and copy this and put this in here. Got a few questions here that I want to ask. Got a little small script here at the top, and I've entered that information right in there. Okay. The next portion of it, I want to go ahead and assign an owner. Now this, again, this can be just an individual user, or I can assign, say for example, a team of users such as my call center. Oops, call center. So my call center team, and it'll go out to all those users, but I'm just going to keep it as myself for right now. All right. You can allow and disallow CRM interaction from for the workspace. Definitely always want to set this to active, and then I can define a pre-processing time and post-processing time. So, say if I only want to give my users 30 seconds before the telephone integration starts auto dialing, I can set that here. Also, so for my post-processing time as well, I can set that as well. Last but not least, I have the list of all the phone call activities I'm going to be making on this. So once I'm finished with it, I'll go ahead and save it. All right. So now, that's basically, as a manager, you've done your little piece right there. You set this up, and your users here will either get a prompt, or what they can do is if they have a power dialing list, they can come into our power dialer right here just by right-clicking on the telephone integration icon and clicking the power dialer. Now it goes out and looks and asks if I've, I haven't been assigned any power dialing lists, so do I want to check for it? So I'll go ahead and hit yes, and it's assigned me this power dialing list here. So this is the list of available power dialing lists that I have. As an individual user, I can work on many power dialing lists at one time, so not just have just one, but I can have several as well. This gives me a brief overview of the list itself. Lets me know who's going to be working on that list, how many calls are on the list, how many calls have already been processed, how many calls are rescheduled, and how many calls are left to do. Lastly, it gives me how many calls are claimed, so I can kind of see how many if there's another person working on that list right now or not. So to go ahead and start the power dialer, I'll just go ahead and click it and go ahead and hit start. Now this goes ahead and brings up my power dialing workspace. Just a quick overview of the workspace here. You can see here I've got some information about the individual user here that I'm going to be calling. Also have this lovely back to call button. And what that allows me to do is actually inside here in my window, I can actually click and move around inside of CRM and get the information that I need. And then once I'm done, I can go back to my call. So right back to my call, so I don't have to kind of find the call in there. Again, what we're trying to do with the workspace is keep everybody in this workspace and keep everyone focused. The next little portion here, the next little section, this is basically kind of the heart and soul of this. It lets me know which stage I'm in. As you can see here, I'm in my pre-processing time, and I've got my counter going up. Again, if you set a time limit for the pre-processing or post-processing time, once that hits that certain time, it's either going to auto dial or move on right on into the next step. If the customer has multiple phone numbers, I have the ability to choose which phone number I'm going to be calling. But the default number, that's the one that I define as the business phone number that I want to be calling. I have the option to actually skip this call if I'd like, or go ahead and start dialing. The next section of it just basically tells me which list I'm working on, and again gives me an overview of how many calls are left, how many calls are claimed, and the total of the finished calls here. I can turn these stats on and off if I'd like, and also pause this, pause it, the powered analyst, so it stops the counts and lets me pause and maybe take a break or something along those lines. Once I come back, just go ahead and hit continue, and it keeps right on going. The powered dialer description area, this is actually where I put my, my little script here, so users can see it. Usually it's kind of hidden, so they can open it up and take a look at it. I've got here my script and the different calls that I want to be answering here. So as you can see here, in here, see description panel for questions. I've got it all right here, and I can put my answers in right here once I make these phone calls. So to go ahead and start dialing, it's pretty simple. I just go ahead and click the dial button. It starts dialing out, and we're just waiting for a connection. So once I'm connected, I can go ahead and go through my script, go ahead and ask my questions, enter my information right down here in the description field. And once I'm finished with that, I'll go ahead and hang up this call. Now, one of the nice features here with telephone integration, let's say for example, I did not get a response here at this number. If there's a secondary number, I can go ahead and actually, it just prompts me to ask if I want to go ahead and try this mobile phone number. So if I do, I can go ahead and hit dial. If not, I can click finish. And then that brings me here to my three options here that I have. Again, so I have a couple options. I have failed. So that would be, you know, if I didn't get my call, if I didn't get my questions answered, or they're not going to be attending this event, I can set that as failed. So you can kind of set that up with your users that, you know, if they answered no to this, this would be a fail. If they answered everything here, I can go ahead and click succeeded, the call succeeded. And I also have the ability to reschedule. So let's say, for example, I didn't get this person on the phone, but I was told that they're going to be available, say, for example, next Monday at 8 o'clock. Starting at 8, I can go ahead and set this up to reschedule and save this. And now as a user, you know, I just move right on to the next call. What happens there behind the scenes is that number gets held back until next Monday at 8 o'clock, and then it gets pushed to the top of the queue. So we'll go ahead and make that phone call, whoever's working on this list, at 8 o'clock on Monday morning. So like I said, real simple and easy to do. You just kind of, you're dialing out, and then once it's connected, you go ahead and you follow through with your script, hang the phone up, and, you know, mark it as succeeded or failed. So as you can see, you can process a lot of calls kind of one after another really, really quickly and easily. So I'd like to talk a little bit about the roadmap, kind of what's coming up for telephone integration. The first piece would be, of course, naturally, CRM 2016 support. We're going to have support for CRM 2016 on-premise and online, and it's scheduled for the end of the year. So we should have that out probably mid-December, end of December. We should have that available for testing. Next would be SIP integration, support for SIP phones. It's scheduled for Q4 2015. The version that I'm using actually does have support for that already. So if you have a SIP phone, you can go ahead and download it and try it out, and get that all working for you. So the SIP integration, that's our newest phone piece that we're going to be able to integrate with, SIP phones. Lastly, we're doing a design update for telephone integration. We're going to have a new user interface to the client component and the settings. The schedule for that is the first quarter of next year, and more than likely when that comes out, we'll do another demo just kind of highlighting the new UI of the telephone integration component. So I want to thank everybody for coming. Feel free to join any of our other upcoming webinars. You can find those at our website. There's a big red webinar button right there. You can click on it and see what we're coming up with next. Next webinar is going to be December the 2nd. We'll be doing a webinar, kind of a compare and contrast of the new Documents Core Pack and the new CRM 2016, I guess, Mail Merge 2.0 that they're coming out with. Some resources here. You can find us on the web naturally at www.mscrm-addons.com. Our Help Center, you can find us at the web address /support. And there you have access to live chat, support. You can also always email us at support@mscrm-addons.com. And also don't forget we have an awesome blog. It's at blogs.mscrm-addons.com. Got a lot of resources on there, especially like, for example, if you wanted to do like I did with the clicking the phone number right on the CRM form. That information is actually in the blog about how you set that up and configure that. You can always contact us per telephone. U.S. number is 404-720-6066, and Europe is 316-680-880. If you have any support questions or technical questions, please feel free to email us at support@mscrm-addons.com. And for any questions about pricing, or if you'd like to see a demo of the product, a little bit more in-depth demo of the product, you can always email us at office@mscrm-addons.com. So just want to go ahead and open this up for